Okay, I'm going to try to explain. Here we are at my house down here. Go up here, around the curve, stop sign, stop sign, stop sign. Go up to the red light, Palm Tree gas station, Napa over here. The road keeps going this way, 1941's going this way. I get onto the ramp, you know. And you go on up, and here's the turning lane. You know, if I got on the ramp, it'd be like this way, you know. If I was going, you know, on the ramp, actually it would be like that, you know. It would be actually that way and up. And then I go over and I get on these turning lanes over here. And I'm in, see, there's the concrete separator. Here's the double road over here. Here's the left turning lane. There's where the red light people are supposed to stop, way back there. I'm not supposed to go till I get my green arrow here. It's a black car. I don't know if they had their headlights on or headlights off. I know I saw up here at the Walmart crossing that there were a few cars going through that way. But my light turned green, and I looked up, and I think I took my foot off the brake. It's what I'm thinking. And this person just come wildly through here like this, hit my car, because you know how this turning lane is like this. So your left front of your bumper is like that, hanging out there, okay? The policeman, they were gone, but the policeman was trying to say that I had to hit them as I come out. Well, I was right here, and I hadn't even got across the lanes yet, and there was a bump, or a big slam on me. A piece of car went flinging this way, you know, across the road like this. And then they went down the road like this, twirl, 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 twirl. And then somewhere along in here, I was like, oh my gosh, yes, I'm driving. And I'm like, oh no, you know, I don't know if I went over this cement thing here, because, you know, they come out of the Walmart hickey like this, right? And get on there, because, you know, there's that XXX right there. But this wasn't where he came. He came from down this way, whoever he was, or she. I'm going to flick my cigarette. And my left end of my nose is sticking out right here, you know, because that's the way you're angled when you're here. So I was like, took my foot off the brake, but they ran the red light because my light was green. And I go like this, I go over, and I'm like, get like right here, right past the concrete. And I'm like, oh no, I'm driving. And I start coasting down the hill, and I stop. There's that big sign there that says, what's in the shopping center over here, you know, right in front of Brian's, that big sign right there. And that's where I stopped at. And here I honked the horn, and down here I just laid on the horn 2 or 3 times to let Marshall and Tom, who were sitting waiting on me down here at the IHOP, know that it was me that had the wreck so they could come up there. If you can tell anything from this mess. Anyways, when I'm not here, that concrete thing's on here, it's a triangle with the turn lane. I was right here between that and the sign, like, and I put my foot on the brake. And I'm sitting there holding my foot on the brake, and then Marshall comes up there, and Tom, and I'm like, oh, I need to put it in park, you know. So finally, I put it in park, you know. And I said, go see about the other people. And by the time they walked from this sign up to the road right there, they were gone. They were just already gone by the time they did that. And then I called 911 3 times. Marshall had already got on the phone with 911. Fire truck showed up over here, and there was police and an ambulance. And they got me. I had to sit in the ambulance while they checked my heart rate, my blood pressure and sugar, and listened to my heart, and put me on this machine, hickey doodle. And I was like having such a panic attack. I was crying. I don't cry. And then we went down to the IHOP, and we heard it was scraping, after I got through with everything, checking me out. They had to hold me on each side to get me from the ambulance people did, from the car to the ambulance, because my legs were just weak, and my right ankle was hurting, and my right wrist was hurting. And he said I'm going to hurt. My sugar was a little bit high, but I just got through taking a couple sips of sugar coffee. And then and I said, I'm not diabetic, though. And he said, well, they could tell. He said that would run up just a little bit. And then he said that I was that's letting my heart rate go down, but that's because I was having the panic attack and I was crying and stuff. And he said my blood pressure was a little bit high, but that's because, he said, have you had your blood pressure medicine today? And I said, no, I was going to take it when I got home because I'd made me a coffee. They called, I made me a coffee, and I usually take my medicine with a little coffee and then go to bed. I said, because that's what I was going to do when I came home, was take my blood pressure medicine, cholesterol medicine, and the gabapentin and the Cymbalta when I got home. But, and then, so he did a few things to it down here to bend it. Then we went back up here, and we got on the road, and then we got off at the bridge, because the bridge is farther down here because I've got a big gap right here. There's a bridge and all this kind of stuff right here, and local people know. And we went down here, and I went into this palm tree gas station. I call it that because there's palm trees. There's a hotel over here. And I call it the palm tree gas station. And we got gas because I was right on it, empty. We'd planned on getting gas and going to the store afterwards. And then he tied it up with a strap. We got to the house. It only scrapes if you do a real sharp turn to the right. So he said, just try not to do that. So, but later I'll take Martha to work and whatever, and we'll see about getting parts. But I was trying to explain that. But I was still trying to have a panic attack when I got home. But I should do deep breathing or whatever. Anyways, to continue on, after you've seen the pictures, the policeman was saying for my car to get like that on the front, I would have had to drove out and hit that other person. Well, I'm like, I didn't see anybody. There was nobody there. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning, or, well, actually it would have been like 1:40 a.m., 1:42, because when I was trying to call the police, I tried calling it 3 times, and I was shaking so much I kept dialing the wrong numbers. And then this thing came up. I tried to call my daughter after everything was over with, and it said that since I'd called the police to make sure that I got in touch with the police, my phone would not be able to call anybody else for 2 hours or something, So I just messaged her when I got back on the messenger. And when I was saying him said it was okay for me to drive the car, I'm talking about my other son, the one that has the garden and stuff that y'all haven't seen the videos of that yet, but he's the one that I talked to this morning, and he said that to try to drive it, and then we're going to be looking for parts and all this kind of stuff, and at this no point with the insurance thing, because I did not have uninsured motorist. All I had was your basic insurance. If I'd had uninsured motorist, after I paid the deductible, it would have fixed the car, which I want to kick myself in the butt for not having that. But if there's any questions, you can ask, and I'll answer them in the comments. But I was trying to, explain all this, which is curly and stuff, because you have to, when you come off this ramp, you have to almost directly go across the highway, But that's not where it got me. They got me right here at the intersection. And I've just been a nervous wad ever since. But I'm okay. My knees are kind of sore. Said I might have hit them on the dash. My hips, he said, it'd be sore because the seatbelt was on. And then lots of times you're sore after that. But, with the fibromyalgia and everything, I'm going to be sore anyway. But, luckily I wasn't hurt like that. But my wrist, I told him I had my, they saw that I had my seatbelt on, because I still had the seatbelt on. The car was still running when the firemen came around. And, I don't remember really good because when I got hit initially, I was like, what was that and where did it come from? And then I saw this hunk of cargo over towards the railing, which would have been going towards the Bryans. And then I saw that car start spinning. But it was spinning too fast for me to get a tag number, or spinning too fast for me to get a... excuse me. Spinning too fast. It was a black car. It was not more rounded. It was a little bit less rounded and longer. It may have been a four-door. I can't tell you. To me, it looked like one of those kind of cars that Carter used to have, kind of like, and I don't even remember what that is because I don't know one Hooten car from another. These new cars, most of them look the same, but I just know it was a car, and I think it had four doors on it, but I'm not positive because that really shook me up when I got hit like that. I haven't had a wreck in a car in over 30 years. My daughter, that's 35, 36, she's born in 1985. When she was a baby in a car seat, we were sitting in some traffic. Somebody come flying over the hill and hit us in the butt. And for at least a month and a half or so, I had to wear a neck brace because I got whiplash. And that's the only accident of a car that I've ever been in, which is really whoopee to me. Because I go through that intersection every day with all the heavy traffic, and it takes one late night goofy idiot that comes through there. So apparently they didn't have insurance, or they had something in the car that they didn't want police to see, or they were drinking or on drugs or something, because why else would somebody not stop and just drive away? So while I was out today, I had to go to the doctor this morning. Not because of that, but it was a regular appointment. While I was out, you really believe that you don't realize there's that many black cars around. So I was just looking at cars as I was driving, in the view of driving. I wasn't, I was making sure I was looking at the road, and I only saw one car but it was on the right side. It was on the wrong side, and of the road of the vehicle. But I don't know if you can tell or not, I'm still whooping. Anyway, so I didn't get to go to bed because I had to go to the doctor. If I'd have laid down, I would have went to sleep, and I wouldn't have got up to go to the doctor, and I already missed an appointment on Monday, and then they had to reschedule. But I'm all been out of shape, feel like, still. I'm so thankful that I'm not hurt. I mean, I could have hit my head, or I could have smashed myself into the steering wheel, or been thrown from a car. Anything could have happened. And my two youngest sons, they was hoping they seen the person so they could see if they were a DUI or whatever, if they was, so they could hold them till the police got there or whatever. But, it didn't happen, and I'll probably never figure it out. They say you can go look and see if you can find anybody that might have a camera on the outside of that might have caught it, but I don't think right there that there's any camera that's pointed that way. There was a road camera up there, but it wasn't working. And I don't think right there that there would be where this is right here. I just don't think that there's a thing, because Brian's is closed. IHOP's way down there, and they got an awning that you can see. And there's a place out here, but it sits down in a hole. There's a chicken place right here. There's a Chinese, or what used to be Chinese food. It's a buffet right here. And then there's some kind of other auto place there, but there's some bushes and tree stuff right here. So I don't really think that there's anybody, unless it was the chicken place, that might have anything, I mean, somebody else was saying though that if somebody had a outside camera and they saw cars coming down about that time, and they might could tell, which one it was, or maybe pass this way. But if they went down this way, if they went on the bridge, then they would have showed up right here, this area right here. If if they didn't, then they went under the bridge and bypassed this business section and just went on that way. You know, it would have bypassed this business section. This is the bridge comes down to what they call the business section, where the old Walmart used to be, and just different business things. But they would just run on out the highway. So anyway, I guess that's it right now, and I'll be complaining I hurt more later. That's about it, probably. So I guess there's be more next time. Well, look at my poor car. Look at the windshield some more. See that up close? I think I did some more. See the hoods, happy jawed. Marshall tied it up last night so we could get home. Can't make a sharp turn. My poor old car. That's it. Poor thing. Almost, see here? Almost knocked the whole thing off. It was a hit and run. My green light turned, and I don't even think that I moved. I think I just took my foot off the brake. They ran a red light. You can see how bent that is up at the top, overlapping. The gap that was there. Let me get down low a little bit to see the bottom. Yeah, not good, not good, not good. They hit me, they spun around, and they drove away. I didn't know that they drove away. But Marshall, I told Marshall to go see about them because I was going to pick Marshall and Tom up from work. And I said, go see about the other people. And he got up to the top of the hill, and they were gone. And my car looked like that. And I think there's some pieces in the back. Let's see. I don't know. Those are not. Let's see. Can you see in there? It's just little pieces. Can't see it. Anyway, okay. Well, that's it. So we'll see if somebody can fix it. If they get the money. And that was last night's thing. Trying to pick up the boys from work. Okay, well, I've been to the doctor, and I paid my electric bill, and I had a nap. I thought I was going to take Marshall to work, but then Carrie had came by this morning, just look at the car and look at me before she went to well, after she dropped Charlie off at work at the, there we go, IHOP. Yes, we are an IHOP family. Many of them work there. And so on the way to pick up Charlie, Marshall was going to have to be there, so she decided to, she came by and picked up Marshall on the way to pick up Charlie. So I didn't have to get out and do that, but I didn't know she was going to do that. I think it's very nice of her to do that. But I've already read looked at the other clips that I talked about, that I talked on, rather, and I had a couple more things I wanted to add to that. For first, my ambulance care was not charged to me. They said it was free, and I'm really appreciative of that. I was in the, I know y'all could see my fingernails in the video as well. I was in the, in the ambulance. They were going to stick that oxygen thing on my finger to check my oxygen. And I was like, oh no, my fingernails are icky. you know, and they said, well, don't worry about it and everything. But I had been working with some plants earlier, and I hadn't took the toothbrush and scrubbed my nails yet. And I was sitting there, and I was worried about how my fingernails was looking, and I thought that was funny after I got through thinking it. But I was crying while I was saying it. But they were just trying to get me to calm down. But let's see if there was a couple more things. There was no witnesses at all to that because there were no other cars that went up or down the road at that moment in time. But there was a guy sitting close to one of the restaurants over there getting some free Wi-Fi. At the time, he heard the crash, and he saw my car after, but he didn't see the car, you know, during the accident. And he never saw the other car. Which that was odd that there was no cars coming up and down, because there's always traffic going up and down there, even late at night. And I'm always in and out of there, you know, taking somebody or picking up somebody from work. So let's see if there's anything else. I think that was all, but I think that I was adding to that. Yeah, that's all, because I just wanted to put that in there, that there was definitely nobody that actually saw it. Now, one of my sons, was sitting there's two benches in front of IHOP. One faces towards the hotel, and one faces towards the road where I was driving on. One son that was facing towards the road saw some flickering lights or something after the bump, but I don't know if he thought it was headlight or if it was tail lights, or you could hear it spinning, the car. And my other son said, Marshall said, oh, that better not be Mom. But it was an experience, I'll tell you that. And I am a little bit more achy right now, so I'm pretty sure I'll be a little bit more achy later. And I don't know if you call this an enjoyable video or just an interesting video, but it's just something that it happened. It's the real thing. And it would have been nice if I had a dash cam. And so I guess this is definitely the end. And if there's anything else comes up later on, or if I get the car fixed or whatever else like that, or anything comes of it, then I will definitely let everybody know. Bye.